you get together, how do you operate that network of people? How do we make decisions? And historically, we've had a couple of answers, and they all have different trade-offs. The old answer used to be the most brutal monkeys in charge. That used to be the king, and that's still how much of the world lives today under dictators. Then it was just the smartest and most violent few monkeys who get together are in charge, and that's aristocracies, or if it's the smartest, it's the elites, but you have a small number of people sort of running things for society. Religion was another one. You know, I talked to God, God gave me the answers, you listen to me. There was another model around democracy, where we're all equal, we all vote, but you also can end up with mob justice, mob rule, where the majority tyrannize the minority. So you just have all these different systems of organizing people. And in the last few hundred years, we've created a new one called markets. And these could be markets in, you know, things you like and things you don't. But it's essentially just this idea that we can trade things and sort of self-organizes, and there's a merit model in terms of how much money I put in or what assets I put in, what I get back, but no one's really in charge. If you look at the global credit markets, debt markets, equity markets, money markets, commodity markets, no one's really in charge. So what blockchains do is they bring the ability to have markets into any digital domain. So you can take any digital network, and there are a lot more digital networks out there than we think. So for example, Uber is actually a digital network that's routing cars around. Your local public utility is actually a digital network that's routing power around, especially if we all had solar and we were trading that power. Today we have cell phone carriers that are top down, but actually each of our phones, it's broadcasting Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and you could and we have Wi-Fi access points at home. You could stitch together a digital network. And a blockchain-based network isn't owned by anybody. It isn't run by anybody. It's sort of, I think we're sort of a temporary blip in history where all of your connections with your friends are controlled by one small set of people out of Palo Alto, or all the digital news media in the world is run basically by Twitter and YouTube, and it's a very small number of people. So it is the nature of the current generation of technology that it is a highly centralizing force. We have replaced geographic oligopolies with global monopolies. While at the same time, there's sort of this long tail of independent actors, but that fat middle that used to exist in the old world is gone. When you would have 10 e-commerce retailers, and now you just have one that's kind of controlling the whole internet retail. When you would have had hundreds of local taxi dispatchers, but now all taxis are dispatched out of San Francisco by Uber or Lyft. So that trend line is very worrying, because that's not the internet I think we were all promised. We were promised a decentralized internet where we kind of all collectively control outcomes. But like in any system, you have to have rules, you have to have consensus, you have to have ways of rewarding people who contribute to the network, you have to have ways of punishing cheaters who harm the network. And blockchains use mathematics, cryptography, peer-to-peer networking to create digital consensus and allow truly leaderless digital networks. And I think that is what is compelling about them. And we're starting with the financial applications, because money is a ledger. It's something that we've historically had to put a king in charge for, or a state. And they have a habit, you know, when you hand somebody the ability to print money, then they just print more of it, and so it finds its way into their pockets and their friends' pockets. And it may be not a problem in New Zealand, because it's a famously uncorrupt country, but yeah, even there, right? There's always something. Compared to other parts of the world that are outright kleptocracies, that can be problematic. So you have things like Bitcoin that essentially separate money from any individual controlling the money, and then it becomes collective money. Ethereum tries to do that for a programmable financial system. And I think you'll see as blockchains get good at tackling those problems, and they demonstrate that they can secure something as hard to secure as the ability to make an issue and transfer money, then they can be trusted in all other aspects of life.